game I don't know, direct hit. This I picked up on the road trip when I visited Scott at the old Curiosity Shop. This was in an antique mall and it was $5. And so I don't know the game, but it's like the artwork is fantastic. I'm assuming the game is called Direct Hit, and it looks like all these little pieces are getting hit by bombs. And there's
if you got a dollar, won't just lousy down. Know that I got rhythm that could suit your budget fine.
Hey, this is Patrick with Trusty Extra Mercantile. Welcome to my channel. A little bit ago, I posted a short, well, literally a short, on Instagram that covered a quick tour of my game room. And as I was filming it, it kept running past the 90 seconds that are allowed. And I decided, you know what, I'll do the short one for Instagram, and then this will be a good reason to actually do a full form video that I can post to YouTube, because I actually do want to showcase some of the things that I have here in my game room. I've been collecting vintage games. I did some videos where I picked these up. I picked some up during a challenge that Beth had, I think it was last year, maybe even the year before. Beth from Carolina Princess Sweet Treats and Pretties did a $10 challenge. So I picked up some vintage games and just been stockpiling board games that I could use primarily for decor, sometimes to play, but the intention was to be able to decorate with them because I wanted to do a game room. And finally, my game room is complete. Well, at least complete for now. So this is going to be a quick video, quick tour of what I've done to my game room. Here it is. So kind of give perspective, this is the upstairs of my townhouse. This was the smallest bedroom. It had been my office. The larger secondary bedroom was my daughter's bedroom, and when she moved out, got her own place, I moved my office into the bigger space, and this became the game room. So it's still carpeted. At some point, maybe I'd want to change out the flooring. We shall see. But this is technically a bedroom, no big surprise. And it happens to have a north-facing window, so not a ton of light. So we might do something with the chandelier, the lighting, but for now, this is the way it's going to look. When you first walk in the door, if you've watched some of my videos in the past, you know I am currently dating an individual named Rajiv. So I wanted to put something, not necessarily specifically for him, but I wanted to hang this board specifically. It is a vintage Parcheesi board, which is the Royal Game of India. And this one has this really cool label on it, showing the India Home Edition from Milton Bradley. But it's on basically the back of the board. So if I had mounted it like I did the other boards, you would be able to see the cool label. So I had this skinny wall right here, but the light switch, and it kind of works to just mount it there using command strips for all of these. The two-sided ones, like the little Velcro-y ones, so that you can remove them without damaging the board. It does want to pop itself open, but it usually only stays open about that far. So far, I haven't felt it necessary to Velcro the board together. I actually kind of like it because it's interactive when people come to the house. Also, I've got a very odd little vintage piece down here. It is a vintage garbage can, which technically is my daughter's, but she didn't take it when she took all of her stuff. So it's mine now. She can have it if she wants it back. But let's see. It was done at the time of the Carter administration. So a lovely garbage can from the 70s. Nothing to do with games, but, you know, had that little spot there. So we're doing it. This was actually my dining room table. And actually, this is my dining room table from when I was married. We had a 1920s Craftsman bungalow. And this table with its chairs and the sideboard and the hutch that all went with it were a beautiful addition to the formal dining room in the Craftsman. Then we moved from that, and it has been albatross around our neck ever since, because you can kind of get a look at this. Look at how far back those chair backs tilt. So even though the footprint of the table isn't very big, when you have these chairs, and the captain's chairs do the same thing, it takes up a lot of space to be able to walk around. So in one house, we had put this in the living room because the dining room wasn't big enough for it. And with the divorce, I got the table and the chairs and the hutch, and my ex-wife got the sideboard. And you know what? The chairs have been in storage. Table had been used downstairs, and now it's going to be the gaming table. So moving into the room, These were also something I've been collecting over time. I have more. These were the ones that just fit nicely in these little frames that I could squeeze in between the closet and the door. This had been, because it was my office, there had been a bunch of theater stuff in here. So this used to hold playbills. So these frames were that size. So I had to kind of, make do with all the frames that I had. I like the way it looks, but I have other pieces that I like better that are just weirder shapes. So we shall see what I end up doing with those. They'll probably end up maybe going up here, but they're harder to see when they're above the closet door. But you can see I still have a couple of framed theater pieces, but the picture in the middle is actually, it was the box to that board game, Pirate and Traveler. I was not familiar with the game, but the box had completely fallen apart. So I did not destroy anything. I didn't cut anything up, but it happened to be almost the perfect size. You can see there's a little bit of edge around there. I think there's a theater poster behind that actually, but it works great. Nice big piece above the door, and I love it. Then we just started collecting, well, I don't know why we should suddenly change the royal we. I started collecting these different board games, and I picked them up myriad places. And let's see, this one. So this one is Elliot Ness and the Untouchables game. So that kind of predates me. Let's see, not sure if this one has, yeah, copyright 1961. Oh, the Desilu production, didn't know that. So that predates me, but I knew who they were, but I'd never played the game. So that was in a box lot of games. I think this board game was in that same box lot. Sammy, the White House Mouse game. Now this is of my era, from 1977, but I do not recall this game. It's Milton Bradley. And so that one, actually a lot of these. This one, the PayDay board game. I remember PayDay. That's definitely, even from the artwork, kind of screaming Schoolhouse Rock art. I do remember that. I don't remember understanding it when I played it as a kid, because I don't think I knew what PayDay was, but big PayDay board. The Happy Little Train game, also do not remember this one. This, again, predates me. It's probably still around. This one's from 1957, also Milton Bradley. But there's some fun things in here. The Hippo Hoppity Bumps. 2s and 2s and 5s. Pretzel Bend 1s and 2s. So there must be something with the games about what you roll or spin or whatever. And again, because these are all just the board games, I don't have any of the game pieces. I don't have the instructions. Oh, I take that back. I might actually have the game to this one. I'll have to relook. I might have the game to that one. But the art was so cool on that one. I mean, just I got strawberry soda full stop. Yeah, had to hang that one. This one, I think I picked up specifically because of the art. And this one I need to do a little bit of a Google Lens search or something. I'm hanging it technically, I guess technically I'm hanging it upside down, but there's a reason for it. All of the art kind of faces the game players. So I hung it so that the center art is like a factory. If I had hung it so that this was readable, the factory would have been upside down. So it still has, the ship is upside down and the little barn, field is upside down, but the train is correct and, sort of the bridge is correct. So I had to make a choice. But I don't know what the game is. So Selkow and Richter, that is actually one of the, I think that's one of the brochures that I have. So it might even be one of those. So I need to do a little bit of digging, but I just love this art. So I specifically bought this 100% to hang up. This was not a job lot. This was actually from a game. So I think I still have the game. It came in a really long box. So these are some of my games. So we've got the Popeyes game. I'll show that in a minute. Here it is. Boondoggle. There's Boondoggle. the game of comic elections. And you can see, I don't know if you can really tell, but like there's a twister box, chutes and ladders or ropes and ladders. It's kind of standard size boxes. Look how much longer. The boondoggle box goes all the way out to here. So this is a really long box. It technically doesn't even fit on this shelving unit that I have for the games. But it's got this great art to it, and it is about elections. So someday I may want to play this one because I do actually have it. So when I hung that one, I actually hung, there's actually a nail right here. And so out of necessity, this kind of got hung on as a diamond shape. But I was really happy with the way that turned out. It was originally just going to be those 5. And then I just felt that there was this big gap over here. But then there's a huge gap in the middle. So for now, I ended up sticking another one of my playbill frames for the Popeyes game. You can see, you look at it, the game is like a Tiddlywinks game that you play on the floor. And in a second, I will actually show you that game because I have the box. I think I have the box. I think it's one of these trashed boxes down here. I had the top of it was I already showed. So I had the directions and I actually have the game pieces. But you can see I've got a pretty decent collection. This is definitely one of the ones that I bought for the challenge, for Beth's challenge. I actually did a video playing that one. I want to say a couple of these. I can't remember now which one thing. Maybe Peggotty might be one that I bought as part of that challenge. I remember I bought 3 or 4 games. Some of them I haven't played yet. I did a video playing The Last Straw. And so there's still others, and I might go. I think I played Racco with my daughter. I think that was one that I picked up. I think we might have played Scribbage. Or we played Card Cubes. I can't remember. But so there are other videos that I wanted to make a series, and I still hope to make a series. But then there's also contemporary games. I was on a Kickstarter hit. So I think Relic Expedition was a Kickstarter game. Catch Penny I've had. My daughter really liked Colonial Williamsburg, so I've had that for a long time. Illiterati, I just learned to play. I got my daughter a copy of that, and then I got a copy for myself. That was a Kickstarter game. That's actually fun. I played that with Raj already. Pandemic I'd had for a while. Situation 4. Oh, I think this might have also been one I bought. You can see the tag on there is from the store that I was at. This gives you a little bit of a hint of my hidden, dark, weird sense of humor. That was a Kickstarter game. That was a Kickstarter game, but it's a Kickstarter game, which was totally up my alley because it's a card game of inheritance. So it's basically, when it came to Granny's inheritance, you never thought it would come to this. Bid on Granny's most prized possessions, battle for control by attacking and sabotaging other players. It's getting her stuff. So like a great little resellers game. And that was a Kickstarter. I got the Dead Grandpa expansion pack. So Rattus, that I'd had for a while. I played that quite a bit when Amelia was growing up. Another vintage high bid. So I've got a mix of vintage and contemporary games, all of which I hope to play. The Wide World game, that I think I don't remember if I've got the instructions for that, but that is fairly large size. Need to figure out if there's a new, I hate to use the term political correctness because that seems dismissive, but I don't know if Chinese checkers is still an acceptable term, so I need to do a little bit of research on that because I don't want to be unsensitive. So marble checkers, something like that. But this one is really cool. I did a video on this a while ago. This is an older game. The board itself is wood as opposed to cardboard, and the box is down here. It's this massive box I put here to the side, and the pieces are actually like little 3-dimensional towers. You can see it has all the little spots, but they're not divots to hold marbles. They are actually like little pawns. And then you've got the traditional with the place for the marbles, the one that a lot of us are familiar with. There we go. There are the pieces to the Popeyes game. They just look fantastic up there. So, you know, I can still play them. I can take them down if I really want to play Tiddlywinks on the floor. I don't know why anyone would want to play Tiddlywinks on the floor, but there you go. That I picked up. I actually have the full game for that. I don't have the instructions, but I have the full game. But the board was so pretty. I wanted to display that. And the game pieces are pretty old. I want to say they're from the 40s or the 50s. So that's a nice old game. Hello, neighbors. This I just have kind of propped in the window because this room, I don't typically pull the shades. It's an old Clue board, obvious. But I did, for those who followed my channel for a while, I did a production of Clue a couple of years ago. And as you look, this was signed by members of the cast. So it's a Clue board. It could still definitely be used as a Clue board, but I have it because it's kind of a nice, fun memory from doing that show. More games, vintage as well as new, a lot of Kickstarter games. Little fun side piece that I had that I kept. My daughter made this probably when she was like 10, 12 years old. The Deering Family Library of Terrible Books. Don't judge us, but we hated as a family Jane Eyre, I, Claudius, Deliver Us from Normal, and The Great Gatsby. So what comes next? I'm not sure. I think we might have revisited Great Gatsby as being a better book, but at the time, as a 12-year-old, when she did that, they were not favorites of hers. This is a kind of like a pinball. I can't remember what it's called. Game. See, there's a little plunger down here, and the balls that pop up and then land in these different pieces. Oh, that's what Bagatelle. It's Bagatelle game. Got a really good deal on that, and I was already thinking about doing a game room. So I'm like, you know what? I'm buying that, and right now it's just sitting on a stand because it's kind of heavy. You can see it's wood and glass. So I'm a little leery to hang it on the wall with command strips. So if I do anything on the wall, I'm gonna have to like actually mount it with something. So for now, it looks fine there. Funny enough, just this morning I did a video. I just picked this up yesterday. It's a little box with cards inside, and I just loved it so much. I showed it on my haul video, and it's already up here. But the board I picked up, again, a game I don't know, Direct Hit. This I picked up on the road trip when I visited Scott at the old Curiosity Shop. This was in an antique mall, and it was $5. And so I don't know the game, but it's like the artwork is fantastic. I'm assuming the game is called Direct Hit, and it looks like all these little pieces are getting hit by bombs, and there's points somehow associated with them. But like some of the points, this one's -34. This is -36. So there seems to be like, if you hit a tank, you get 4 points. If you hit the electrical tower, you get 15 points. But if you hit a house, it's -33. So there's some sort of thought process to that, but it seems to be a military game. It was from the Northwestern Products Company in St. Louis. I just love the graphics. It came with these weird little corner pieces. I'm assuming they're original. I just don't know what they are. And it's kind of a big, thick board. Like you can see how thick this is. So it's like pretty hefty as a board game, but I'm still assuming it's a board game, not like a dart game or anything, but I'm not 100% sure. But so I might do some research on that. These were, let's see, a couple of these were, oh, actually, this was definitely the big job lot of board games. I was not familiar with it, but it's a nice big size, and I thought it was graphically pretty attractive. But, you know, Dow Jones, the big board, Proper and Gable, Scars and Rowboat, you know, so kind of West End House Company, Woodworthy Company, like some companies they were making parodying don't even exist anymore. But thought that was a nice big one. This one I picked up separately because this, where's the name of it? It's the game of Emergency. Now, I remember Emergency the show. I do not remember Emergency the board game. So it has a copyright of 1974, but I don't remember this one. But thought the artwork was pretty cool and needed to hang that. Pirate and Traveler, that was the one that I had the box up above the closet. Nice big board. But I don't have all the instructions. I have like the artwork and the board, but I don't have any other pieces. I think I do have the Uncle Wiggily game. I think this might be the one that I took the box apart, or not took it apart, but I mean, I just opened the box and took out the art. Because I really don't see myself playing the Uncle Wiggily game, but I really liked the artwork to it. This edition is from 1967. I don't remember ever playing this myself. It's been around for a long time, but I just like the art on this one. So I did that. And then this, again, it was a case where I had anticipated just having those 4, but when I hung them, I ended up having this gap to the side. It's like, well, what can I fill with this gap? So if you followed my channel for a while, I picked this up at a country auction years ago. It was actually going to go in my living room and just never did anything with it because I wasn't really sure where to put it. Well, it works great here. So it's, you know, it's an old-fashioned vintage carnival game, whatever. What I'm missing is the little flapper, you know, the little flapper thing that would fall in between the numbers, little clicker. So right now it just kind of spins, but I don't plan on using it for anything. I just think it looks cool. And the fact that it spins is fun. It's interactive when my guests come to my house. So that is my game room. So if you know me at all, you'll know I'll probably be making some changes. The command strips, I can move them around a little bit fairly inexpensively without damaging the wall or the art. But for now I just need to start playing some games. So I have a rig that I can attach my camera to. So I just picked up a game actually just yesterday called Twixt. It's a 2-person game, so I'm gonna see if I can get Raj to play that with me. I've got some card games I think are 2-person games, so I'm gonna try and maybe do some videos. I started that series with some of the games I played before. I just kind of abandoned it because they weren't getting a lot of views, but that was because I fell out of YouTube favor. I stopped doing videos, so I fell out of the algorithm. So if I can start those up again, I think it might be fun. And then I keep pushing Beth and Dolores to do some stuff. So we might all hop on and play. I need to find a game that can be played remotely. So we might try to find something that would be like a fun board game where it's like you don't have to hide your cards or anything. I mean, obviously I've have to help them take their turns. So, you know, just, you know, watch the video. This was inexpensive. I think the job lot of all the board games I hung was probably like $20, and I have 15 or 20 other boards which are currently for sale in my booth. So I'll recoup those costs, no problem. It's just, a lot of them I came from Goodwill for a couple of bucks. The older games, most people don't want to get them because they either don't have their instructions or they're not, you know, current, or they're characters that no one's heard of. But the artwork is fantastic. I mean, that boondoggle one, that board is massive. It seems goofy, so that might be something I end up playing at some point. But until then, it looks great on the wall. So definitely, it's an inexpensive way. If you've got a game room, you're doing something different for your kids' decor, hey, it's an inexpensive way to do it. You get like a bunch of the little kid games like that. What was this one? The Sammy, the White House mouse game. Can you imagine finding that Uncle, what was it, Uncle Wiggly game? A handful of those, that could be a great nursery decor. And you have the only one with a nursery like that. So they are kind of fun. And it was definitely fun putting together. So I appreciate you watching the video. Hopefully you liked it. I appreciate any comments you put in. And if you've got any suggestions on how to make some content out of the vintage games. But for now, thanks a lot for watching the video. Thanks for your time. Thanks for putting your trust in Trusty Huckster. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.
Give me a good deal on something I can use. Make me an offer that I just can't refuse. When that sunrise in the morning and there's nothing there to do, will probably be the last time I see you. Woo-hoo!